Hi, I'm Shelley Tugas, Director of the Hudson Area Public Library, where books are just the beginning. And I'm here with some of my library friends to talk about all things summer. We're going to cover this year's summer reading program, which is awesome, and also recommend some of our favorite beach reads. And you guys are all younger than me, but there is a song, and the lyric is, "There ain't no cure for the summertime blues." Have you heard this?
I think so. No.
Okay, well, there is a cure, I'm just saying. And it's at your library, and it is the summer reading program. So I don't know if most people know, it really has two parts. There is getting kids of all ages to read, and we have incentives and prizes for that. And then there is a whole summer full of programs and classes and performances. So we'll talk about both of those things. But the big launch date is June 4th.
Yes, Tuesday, June 4th.
From 10:30 to 12:30.
Yes, at Lakefront Park.
Okay, so tell us what's going on at the launch, because I remember last year might have been the first year we did it outside.
Okay, yeah, it could be. So we will have a lot of, it's where people can come and sign up. They can also sign up always in the library, but we'll have, absolutely some activities. We'll have our sensory stuff there, things for kids to climb on. We'll also have Little Blue's Traveling Zoo, which is always a huge hit.
It is.
Kids they can actually go in and brush and pet the pony or, whatever animal they bring in. So that's always fun. It'll also be the time when you can start registering for some of our programs.
And you can sign up for summer reading program at that time, but you can sign up the last week if you want. It's not like, oh, I missed the day, I'm out. So I think it's important that people know that. How does the tracking of reading work, and what are the incentives and the prizes that we're doing this year?
Yeah, so you sign up and then you get a fun little necklace. And each week you're going to be reading 2 hours a week, and you'll fill out a form, turn it into the library, and you actually get to fold it and put it in a little bin of the prize you want to win for that week, because we have weekly prizes. And then you get a brag tag, and you get to collect as many brag tags as you want through the summer. We do have kids that read over 2 hours a week, and they are our super readers.
Yes.
And they get extra entry into those prizes, those weekly prizes, as well as the grand prizes at the end.
Right, so every week that bucket gets dumped into the big bucket
Yes.
for the grand prizes. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. All right, well, so I looked through the calendar, and there's some really cool things. I think we have, 11, I would say they're performances, but they're whole community events. Mm-hmm. And I know some of our favorites are in here. Snake Discovery is coming twice. That is going to be big because kids go crazy. And I remember seeing the Mixed Nuts comedy show last summer, and it was amazing.
I feel like it's fun for adults because kids get such a kick out of them, just to listen to them giggle and giggle for that 45 minutes to an hour will make your summer. So.
Yes. So those are going on basically once a week.
Yes.
And then after, we have a special program with Mr. Chris.
Yes, and he'll do various STEM activities right after these whole community programs. So you don't have to register for them. You just come, and we're trying to alternate between evening and morning programs just to accommodate schedules in the summer. And then afterwards, Mr. Chris will have those STEM activities for families to do together.
Fantastic. Story time changes, though, too, over the summer.
Yes. So instead of being inside in our storytime room, we're going to be outside at White Camp Park, which is near Red Cedar Canyon, Wednesday mornings at 9:30 in the morning. After storytime, we're either going to do like a music and movement, yoga for kids, or bubble fun. And we'll alternate again those as well. But always Wednesdays at 9:30 outside.
I realized I just acted as though you were a superstar that everybody would know and did not introduce you. I'm really sorry about that. This is Annie Goldberg, and she, if you come to the library, the kids area, she is the smiling face at the desk, and you also work on a lot of our crafts and have been helping with these programs. So, Camille Young, librarian, and so I don't forget you, Sarah Earle, also library assistant. Tell us a little bit about the tweens, the teens, some of the things that they can do.
Sure, yeah. So this summer, we're going to have book clubs again. We've got a tween book club and a teen book club, just so they each have their own separate things. Most of the teen programs are for grades 6 through 12. We're going to be making soft pretzels. We're going to make mini cheesecakes. We have a STEM program called Things That Explode.
That doesn't worry me at all.
It's all safe stuff.
Well, I'll clear that one with the insurance company.
It's all safe. We have craft programs. We're going to use our Cricut machine at the library to decorate tote bags. So just a lot of fun, different things that our teen librarian, Amelia, has come up with.
Yeah, those are going to be so much fun. And the cooking programs have been huge hits with all ages.
And the teen programs you can sign up for right now.
Right.
The other programs that require registration, you do have to wait until June 4th.
Right, because last year I know they filled up in like 2
They
days.
are very popular.
Yes,
so.
and we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to take part in one of those programs that require registration, and not all of them do. So all of this information, of course, is on the website. If you aren't following us on Facebook, definitely do that. We have Camille doing our social media, and it has been so much fun. We've had incredible growth, and we did add a Facebook page for our Bearded Dragon Toothless, which I highly suggest you follow as well. Anything else you want to mention about summer reading? I know we're also doing a movie every week for families.
Yes, we have Fun Fridays. So again, we're alternating. We're going to have a movie one week, and that will just be at the library. You can kind of bring your own blanket. We'll have snacks and beverages and stuff so you can enjoy the movie. Just sometimes nice to beat the heat. Also, the other Fridays we'll have bingo. So that's always really fun as well. So.
Yeah, I like to call bingo. If you ever need a helper, drag me out of my office. I think that would be a blast.
Yeah.
And I think we should mention that we have some really cool events for young adults with disabilities.
Yes. So on those Fridays, we also show a movie screening just for that particular group, the young adults with disabilities. They can come in and watch the movie or play bingo as well. And again, with bingo, we have lots of prizes and stuff, and it's always a big hit. So
Great. I am super excited about this summer. I think it's probably one of our best summer reading programs in terms of the diversity of programs and the number and the all ages events that we have. So I hope you'll check out the website and grab a brochure if you're at the building. It's got everything on it that you need to know. So we wanted to include in this book recommendations, since we really haven't done that on our River Channel segment. And so we talked about doing beach reads because, well, it's summer. I have never been much of a beach reader just because when I get under an umbrella and I have a margarita and it's sunny, I fall asleep. But I have my contributions as well. So why don't we start with Sarah? You have a couple of good books and you are a big fantasy reader. Is that sort of your favorite genre?
You know, I do read fantasy in the summer, but I am also prone to reading the usual sort of chick flick rom-com book in the summer. I do a little bit of both, so I brought one of each.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people have seen this cover, the really bright pink, happy color. Emily Henry is kind of the perfect summer read, depending on how many margaritas you are imbibing.
Yes.
This one is really fun because it's just a really pretty setting. It takes place on the coast of Maine in the summer in a really beautiful cottage. There's some great romantic interest, but also the friendships are a really big part of the book, which I liked. And everyone is flawed but relatable, which is exactly what you want when you're reading something like this. Definitely recommend, especially if you haven't gotten your hands on her newest one yet, which is Funny Story.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 margaritas, it's
2.5 margaritas? For how many you're going to drink or how good the book is?
How good the book is. I'm like, well, you didn't recommend.
I know.
I thought it was how many margaritas in you could still focus
well,
on the
Or how many do you need to finish it?
No, Shelley should not ad lib.
No, it's if we're going to rate the book, I'd say it's a 4 out of 5 margaritas.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Okay, Camille, what do you have?
So,
Looks scary.
yes. So, what I picked for a beach read is a book that I couldn't put down. I do tend to put down the rom-com ones, though I still like them. This book is called Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I think a lot of thriller fans will know who he is. This one's probably my favorite. It is about a young woman who takes a job as an apartment sitter at a very fancy building called the Bartholomew. There are 2 large apartments at the top of the building, and they each have sitters. And when she starts noticing that the sitters in the other apartment begin to disappear for no reason, she starts getting suspicious, and things go downhill from there.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 knives.
I would give it a good 5 knives.
Okay. So pretty intense.
I thought it was really good, yes.
Is it gory? Because some people who like sort of suspense
Yeah.
and thrillers like that component,
Yep.
but not gory blood kind of
So,
story.
not gory, no. It's much more psychological. There is some violence towards the end, which I think is pretty typical in thrillers, but no, there's no gore or anything like that.
Okay, great. Annie?
Yeah. So I brought The Switch by Beth O'Leary. I really enjoyed this one. It is a rom-com. It's going to sit there, but I really like because Eileen is our almost 80-year-old protagonist. I think she's 79 when the book opens. And you don't see that represented a lot in books. But there's also that 20-something, her granddaughter Lena, is like, I want to say mid-20s. And so what happens is Eileen kind of wants a second chance at love, but she lives in this Yorkshire village where, there's just not a lot of suitable gentlemen. Lena, on the other hand, is in busy London, and she's just a workaholic, and her work says you need to take a sabbatical. So they decide to switch. And so Lena goes off to live in this little village, and Eileen goes and lives in busy London. So you kind of see there's really good female relationships in this, but also like, are they going to find love? Are they not? I'm a huge audiobook reader, and so I listen to this, and I love listening to a British accent, and I can garden and read, and it's wonderful. So that's my suggestion.
I don't have a 0 to 5 thing for that. 0 to 5 Colin Firths.
Yeah, I would give it, I really enjoyed it. I would say 4.5. Can I do a half?
Sure.
Okay.
Alarming for Colin Firth. but-
Yes.
Yes.
Where's the split on Colin?
So I cleared it with all of you that my beach read isn't so beachy. Would you like to tell me that?
Yeah, I just
okay?
said I heard one time, and I know it's been said over and over, but any book you bring to the beach is a beach read. So it doesn't need to be a cartoony kind of rom-com or a thriller. Whatever you're reading at the beach is your beach read.
Okay. Well, I am generally a fiction reader, and lately I have just been reading nonfiction constantly. And then when I read nonfiction, I develop an obsession with the topic. And right now that is Civil War, specifically the Siege of Vicksburg. So I only brought about half of the books that I have, because I did go to Vicksburg, and I could spend another show just talking about Vicksburg. But so I had to decide if I had to pick among these. So I just will slide the titles over. Hopefully the camera gets them all. But I would highly recommend. It's the 2 views of the Siege of Vicksburg, and it is 2 memoirs. That one was written by Mary Lowborough. She was a civilian female trapped in Vicksburg, and the other, and she's a Confederate, the other was a soldier's story of the siege. So it's a Union soldier tells his version. And if you're not super familiar with the Siege of Vicksburg, it happened at the same time as Gettysburg, and that's sort of the battle that everybody knows. But arguably Vicksburg was much more significant battle. And I think what makes it so interesting is not just the military strategy, but there was a siege for 42 days. And so the people who lived there, and about 10,000 Confederate soldiers, were all trapped together. And the citizens had to dig caves and live in them to escape the constant shelling. And they ran out of food, and the water wasn't clean. And by the end, they were eating a mule and rats. So it's very uplifting, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just such an amazing part of our history. And there's so much travel you can do if you're just interested in Civil War sites all over the country. So it was a fabulous trip. This book is extraordinary because you get to see it from two sides. And, you know, it was written right after it happened. So it feels so fresh and so real. So this is my beach read.
From 0 to 5 rats.
Oh, yeah.
How many would you give?
12.
12 rats.
Oh,
All of these
you're
are
living
12.
large in the caves in
Yeah.
Vicksburg with those 12 rats.
Yes. I think we have time to do, since we all brought more books, you all have two.
Did you bring more?
Yeah.
You just want to talk about Vicksburg.
I do. Should I continue just because we're on the same?
Sure.
I'm going to talk about
Why don't you give your
I'll-
second?
I'll
Yeah.
go again. This is, I had to actually get this from the local museum, The Letters of Emma Balfour. And it is all of the letters that they found, and plus mentions in newspapers and other things about her and her husband. And so if you want to know about Vicksburg and the siege, these are letters about her life pre-war. And Vicksburg was a very cosmopolitan town. It was on the river, so it was a hub. It was a very diverse city, and they had an opera house and theater, and so it's really interesting to pair these two together to see the world of Vicksburg as a citizen before the war, and then what it was like to be there when the siege started. So those are my two, and I'm going to just put these away.
Are you sure we could just go down the
Yeah, we just go down the
list?
Yeah, Sarah, you take it away.
I did bring a fantasy book. No surprises there. This one happens to be a young adult fantasy book, but I would recommend it for anyone, young adult or older. This one is just great because you were talking about, you know, war, politics, two sides of the story, same kind of vibe. This features a outlaw family that gives, are they the mafia or are they like democratic royalty vibes? You're not sure. So you've got that side of the story, and then you've got someone who's sort of infiltrating that family for her own mission. And, you know, she just happens to fall in love with the main, you know, leader of that family. But it's great because they're just lying to each other the whole time, and the lies stack up, the politics stack up, and the writing itself is just beautiful. So.
And I hope adults are never ashamed to read young adult books, because there's just some amazing young adult books, and 70% of young adult book purchases are made by adults. So obviously some are buying gifts, but a lot of them are reading them themselves, and we have a great selection, and we've been able to expand our young adult collection by moving it downstairs by the circ desk. So, all right, Camille.
So the second book I brought is called Well Met by Jen DeLuca. It is one of those cute covered rom-coms. This one does take place during the summer. It's about a woman who returns to her hometown to help her sister with her niece after her sister breaks her leg. And the niece has volunteered to work at the Renaissance Festival in town, but she needs a chaperone. So our main character is chaperoning her. So it's got accents that aren't native to their town. It's got love. It's got some serious parts in it, which I found really nice. It's got men in kilts. It's just a fun...
Jousting?
They don't have jousting.
Turkey legs?
There's turkey legs.
Okay,
Of course,
that's
There's
fine.
turkey legs.
Goblets.
There's barmaids. Yeah.
Amazing.
So lots of fun stuff in here.
So if you're a Ren Fest fan,
I would
is a
recommend
definite.
it. Yes.
Okay.
As a Ren Fest fan,
yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And there's a whole series if you continue to enjoy the Ren Fest vibe.
Cool. All right. Annie, the last
All right,
book.
my last one is Truly Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty. I will follow Leanne Moriarty wherever she takes me. So I'm a huge fan. And so a lot of people know her from like Big Little Lies. There's a few other big ones that I can't think of right now. But Truly Madly Guilty was probably the one that stuck with me the most after reading it. So you meet Sid and Clementine right away. They get invited to a cookout. There's 3 couples that go to this cookout, like a barbecue, and I want to say it's Tiffany and Vid are the characters who it's the home where the barbecue is, and they're just really larger than life characters. But something happens at the barbecue, and all the characters are kind of left with this guilt, regret, like what if like something happens there, and I'm not going to say what it is, but they're left with like, what if we hadn't gone? And I think the thing I like a lot about Leah Moriarty is I always see myself in her characters, and they can be multiple characters. I just see she's so good at really digging in and seeing people, all sorts, and understanding personalities and whatnot. So this one just really stuck with me, and the idea of like guilt and regret and how it can permeate even the sturdiest foundations. So that it's a page turner. So that's why I brought it as a beach read.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Annie, Sarah, and Camille for joining me today. This was really fun. Enjoy the great weather. That's the one thing about living here is we have beautiful, horrible winters, beautiful summers. But when you're ready for some air conditioning, come to the library. We have so many cool things going on. And this great summer reading program for all ages. Check it out on our calendar, website, and Facebook. And we look forward to seeing you. Thanks so much.